There is Orissa and there is Odisha, and they are the same place, in case you get a little bit confused. I looked it up on Wikipedia today, so I do know that. So now I'd like to call on Ratnakumar. He's going to give us a 10-minute slideshow, PowerPoint presentation on activities in Orissa. So welcome, Ratnakumar, and please take it away.
Yes, thank you, Saddharaja, and thank you, Cambridge Sangha. So I'm going to share my screen. So is it visible?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, so I'm just going to present about this Kalinga Mitra. And I think Kalinga Mitra is a dream. So I don't know when it is going to come to be true. So let's see. But we think that Kalinga Mitra is a dream, and we can make it true through our efforts and through our own practice and through our teamwork actually. And there are a few friends from Odisha who are with us tonight. So on behalf of them, I am going to share all our work. So moving to the second slide. So yes, so history of our activities and how Kalinga Mitra evolved. So few young activists from Odisha went to Nagaloka, that is in Nagpur, and took training on Dr. Ambedkar thoughts and Buddhism in 2004 and 5. And after coming back to Odisha, they started their activities. Yes, this come to us. And what are we doing now? We have started a Nirbeda Odisha YouTube channel and a magazine and a web page through which we are trying to communicate Dhamma and Dr. Ambedkar's vision to the people in Odisha. As well as we have started a project that is called Pragya Project to support the marginalized students in Odisha for their higher education and take admission in different universities. And we have Dhamma work. So we organize retreat, seminars, workshop, and also most of you have aware about the fact that caste is a ongoing reality in Orissa and in India, and Orissa is also facing the same problem. So there are lots of caste atrocities happening around Orissa, and as a center or as a team, we are trying to deal with that situation also. And the youth of Kalinga Mitra are working for Buddhism and Ambedkar's approach in different universities. When they are involved with us, they go to different university and try to work for that Dhamma, that ethical, to establish the ethical morality and trying to communicate Dr. Ambedkar's vision for equality, liberty, and justice. So that's how we are working. So I'm going to show you some pictures that it is for our retreat. And so we organize retreats since 2006. At the beginning, we were trying to organize retreats in the schools because they were we were getting that freely. So that's why we are trying to organize in the month of May, June, July, because of summer vacation. And then after that, there was some problem happened. So we had to hire. So we rented a few dharmasalas to organize our retreats. And in 2011, three of us ordained, namely Dhammachari Dhammasen, he is here also, and Triratna and myself. Before that, we were just, when we were Mitra, we were trying to organize different retreats and workshop seminars. As a chapter, we came to deepen our practices. So we formed a chapter, that is Singhanath chapter, named by Bhanteji. And yes, then we realized that we are young people. When we encountered Buddhism at that time, we are very young, around 20s. So then we thought that we should mobilize young people and attract young people to the Dhammas. Then we started our project, that is education, youth and social transformation. And through that, we invited many young people to participate in our activities and to learn the mission of Dr. Ambedkar and how caste operate in Indian society, and how Buddhism can be a solution to that problem. So likewise, we organize events. So every year we organize these events for more than 400 young people. So, and sometimes we organize capacity building workshop for our young people, young friends. So Jim and Saddhabati, they visited to Odisha and organizing a fundraising, or we can say that capacity building program for us, how to think, how to plan, and how you can be confident in yourself. So that was the program at the time. And we organized self-defense training program for women, because you know that the first victim of caste system is women. So people attack women and they get rape, and they abused Dalit women in India. So that's why we try to make them confident and make them strong to face this inhuman caste system and patriarchy. Yes, and when the violence occurred against Dalit women and the marginalized community, we try to raise our voice against them, so to get justice. So we organize protests and demonstrations for to get justice. So in 2011-12 and in 2015, Dalit girl was gang raped brutally and murdered, but nobody was taking care of that case. So police was denying, and many administrations was not trying to have, give justice to that family. So we tried to mobilize the people and brought around 5,000 people and to demonstrate, and to after that two culprits were arrested, and still that case is running in the court, and the justice is denied to that family. So we are trying to support in this case, and we try to mobilize people, and we try to reach to the village area where Dhamma is lacking. So there is no any scope for Dhamma. So we try to teach the villagers, and we don't have any like centers. So that's why I told you at the beginning that it is a dream, because we don't have a particular center, physical center like Cambridge or Oxford or any other centers in and India also, like Nagaloka and Pune centers, Dapuri centers, and all other centers. So we were just trying to move to different places and trying to teach Dhamma and Dr. Ambedkar works. So this is in a shadow of tree that our friends, mitras are taking classes. Sometimes on the roof of the house and sometimes on the road. So they try to teach Dhamma. And this is how we try to reach to the village level. Yes, and during this pandemic situation, we try to help the needy people. We provided food grants and some books, material, study materials to the poor children. So this is how we try to resolve and try to support the people. And sometimes we try to organize different awareness program on different topics, like reservation is a very big issue in India. So we try to organize seminar workshop on reservation, on caste, and on gender, and sometimes on the Bahujan. That is a concept, a growing concept in India now after 1984. So that's why we are trying to means Bahujan means many people, that we know that Buddha first proclaimed that Bahujan Hitaya, Bahujan Sukhaya, and that concept was taken over by Kansiram, one of the social reformer in India, and he popularized that term in different states. And some classes were taken with children, so we try to reach to the children because they are the future of the nation. So we try to cultivate wisdom and compassion amongst them. So our friends, our mitras reach to them through Dhammaduta project, actually, that is started by Nagaloka, and we try to preach Dhamma in local areas and try to teach the children. And we perform Buddhist rituals like marriage and death ceremony, birth ceremony, to make people aware about how we practice, means how Buddhist people practice marriage ceremony and birth anniversary and all. This is also celebration of Jayanti, like Baba Sahib Ambedkar Jayanti and Buddha Jayanti and other social revolutionaries' birth anniversary. So we try to celebrate all those things. And yeah, this is, here you can see our friends Priyadaka. So I think in 2008-9 he visited, and we had a tour, so sightseeing, Buddhist sightseeing. So we try to visit, means not only with Priyadaka and Sakyajata and other friends. So we try to visit to that places, and we try to revive that place, the importance of that place, because in once upon a time, Odisha was a famous Buddhist place, and having lots of Buddhist heritage. So these are some glimpses of that work. And the important thing that we try to taking this message of Buddha and Baba Sahib Ambedkar amongst the marginalized people. So these are some kids interacting with Triratna, who he visited a place that is very remote. It is in a remote jungle, and he tried to communicate in a very simple language to these kids. And like I mentioned before, that Nirveda is our literature platform where we communicate our thoughts and our emotions and our ideas through social media and through this Nirveda use page. And you know that Nirveda means Nibbida, we call that is in spiral path, Nibbida. So we brought that term from that Nibbida. And also there was a saint, and he was a revolutionary poet, that is Himo Bhoi, who brought a revolutionary changes in the religious life of the people, mostly from the backward caste people in Orissa. And he gave a new dimension to the Sunyatavad, the emptiness theory of Buddha, uh, philosophy of Buddha. And right now in this pandemic, we are trying to organize some lecture series, so Sunday lecture series on the eve of Buddha Jayanti. And we organize some different talks on different topics. And very recently, we have started a training program that is on foundation course on Ambedkar thoughts and Buddhism for 3 months course for young people. And we have enrolled around 40 young people in that course. And we are, that is continuing now. So today we had a class on caste. And I think the basis of our work is friendship, and that friendship we created or we built from Nagaloka, and from the principle of Buddha. And that principles always guide us to be united, because we learn openness and open communication between us, and that receptivity which is providing a new eyes to see the problems, and our mutual respect and care for each other, and as well as to their family, and good communication with traditional Buddhist and new Buddhist, those who are converting now. So we have a good connection. So that's why our work is growing since 2006. So I realized that is our strong value. And we try to strengthen that values to be alive in our dhammic life, in our spiritual life, we can say. I will say that is the dhammic life. And this is our website. So if somebody want to know more about our work, so they can visit our page, that is nirvedaodisha.in, and our Facebook page. Also, we support the student, those who are coming from very poor background, and they are the first generation student who are taking higher education. So very recently we have, I'm not just saying this because of fundraising. We are trying to support those marginalized students, and we in the collaboration with Milap, we are trying to raise fund for 3 students, those who are studying in Tata Institute of Social Science in Mumbai, and they don't have enough money to get their certificates. So very recently we are trying to raise funds for 3 students. Yes, so these are our works. So we can discuss more after that. So thank you very much.
Sadhu Ratnakumar, Sadhu Odisha. I'm very impressed with the range and scope of the activities that you're engaged in. And well, for those of us viewing in Cambridge at the moment, it might seem like quite a different world. But of course, we're doing the same meditation practices. We're doing the same puja. We're practicing the same 5 precepts. We're practicing spiritual friendship in the same way as you are. And so we have that connection across the world. And what a wonderful thing that is. So with a bit of the time that we've got left, I'd like to ask some of you some questions. You've given us a really good background there, Ratnakumar, of exactly what you're doing. So I'd like to kind of get a bit more personal and ask people a few questions. So if I may, I'd like to ask Swana a question. If you're there, Swana, could you tell us, Swana, how has becoming a Buddhist within Triratna changed your life?
Actually, in my childhood, when I study Buddhist, Buddha, I really like the ideas and thought as Buddha. But time to time, I'm not recognize him personally. But last 2014 to now, I really focus on Buddhism, Ambedkarism, and their path. And I believe that whatever is going in India, mostly in casteism or other in gender discrimination, I feel that Buddhism is the way of path where we we create the space where we live a equality life with in the ideas of Ambedkarism. So I believe in high level that Buddhism is the path of the way of life where we live the life with respect, equality, with fraternity. So yes, I'm so much believe in Buddhism and Ambedkarism. Thank you.
Thank you, Swana. For those of you in Cambridge who are not aware of who Dr. Ambedkar was, he's the great Buddhist leader within India. He also wrote the Constitution of India, so he's incredibly well known within India. Unfortunately, he died in 1956. And our Buddhist movement in India today, in Triratna, is very much based on the work that was done by Dr. Ambedkar. He was also friends with Bhante Saddharaja, who was the founder of our own movement here in the West. So they were friends and they worked together. So I'd like to move on a little bit. Thank you, Swana. I'd like to move on and I'll ask Dashin, would you like to say a little bit about your Dharma life, Dashin, and what's changed for you since you became a Buddhist?
Thank you, Saddharaja. Yeah, so definitely it is a great moment for me. So when I interacted with the Buddhist way of life, and because earlier I was not aware about Buddhism as well as Buddha also. So it was Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar with whom through whom like I interacted with the Buddhism. And so when I interacted, because I have been a part of the like social movement, that is the anti-caste movement in India. So after that I read Dr. Ambedkar, and so I read his like famous book, The Buddha and his Dhamma. So through his book I understand the Buddha's way of life and how he has preach his ideology to the world and then to the human community. So from that like ideas I can too much uh, self realization, then how to be calm, then like how to develop a friendshipness with other peoples, and like all these things change a lot in my life. And it gave me a coach to work for the community people, to work for the those who are marginalized community people. And from that day I have been in this moment actively, and trying to self development, and how I can be impact other people through my personal behavior, personal good behavior to other people. Thank you.
Sadhu. I'd like to move on to another question now, which is about cultural challenges within Orissa and your Buddhist life there. Casteism has been mentioned quite a few times, and obviously that's the Indian Hindu caste system still continues to be a challenge within India today. So I'd like to ask you, Shishant, if I might, would you like to tell us about your Buddhist life and how that addresses cultural challenges?
Hello.
Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim. Just today, this evening, I heard your name from the introduction of Saddharaja. They told there is another Raja, king, that is Saddharaja, and just I see you. Cultural challenges, how can I say? Yes, cultural diversities in India, it is, can say, you can see in all the states, and even within states, you can see in all the different districts, you can see there is different cultures. Okay, and what I would like to say, because when I joined in this Buddhist moment, I am a traditional Buddhist. Okay, if you say I'm a traditional Buddhist, and I didn't know about just Dr. Ambedkar, just know that he was drafted the Constitution of India. But after coming to Nagaloka and the training with Triratna, Ratnakumar, we are all the colleagues, friends at that time. And I really understood and realized that unless knowing Dr. Ambedkar's movement in India, Buddhism is just like a kind of rituals, just a collection of rituals. Okay, because you can say it is just a, just a kind of rituals, just remaining from tradition to tradition. Okay, yeah. So in my village area also that is same. Just they are known as them. They are known that we are the Buddhists, but who is a Buddhist?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the Dharma? Are you practicing the Buddhism?
Yeah.
No, there is nothing, and just they are having some just rituals. Yes. Okay. But really, Dr. Ambedkar is a great Buddhist leader, not only in India, throughout the world. Yeah. Okay. So, and this is a great change. This is the biggest change in my life, that I realized the movement of Dr. Ambedkar. Okay. And then really, I realized what is a true Buddhism. Okay. Yeah.
That's a very good reply to my question, Shashank. Thank you. It's very full and relevant. Thank you for that. I'd also like to ask my Triratna if you could say something about how Buddhism works with cultural challenges for you.
Yes, thank you, Saddharaja, for this question.
Can you move a bit closer so we can hear? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Saddharaja, for this question. And actually, you know the caste system in India, and I came from the so-called scheduled caste background.
Yeah.
And the scheduled caste are treated as the animal in India.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because of that, the notion built up in my mind is that I'm nothing.
Mm.
And I'm thinking that I have not such kind of capacities or capabilities which a human can achieve or behave with others.
Mm.
So on that notion, I am behaving everyone. So I can imagine that time, and it's build up my culture accordingly. So that's why the so-called upper caste people are told us, you are uncultured.
Mm.
And after Nagaloka, after came to contact with Triratna, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, it's completely changed my notion. So I am believe on myself, I am believe on humanity, and I am starting to enhance my capacities.
Mm.
So it's big impact on my mind as an individual. And then I got the vision, I can say, because of Triratna, or the way of teaching or way of approach to enhance the human capacity.
Yes.
It's effect on me, and then I'm back to home. I realized that how my people are living, and I also saw myself that how uh, I changed myself and behave as a human being. So on that basis, I went to village and tried to pay back to my societies as Baba Sahib done. And then I am continuously, engaged with people, just sharing my own experience. And then at the same time, on this way, we are facing a lot of difficulties in the name of cultural changes, because in rural India, the people's mind setups are very opposite. And then when we are going to enhance our capacities, the upper caste people, those don't want to that, they are atrocities on us. So that is also difficulties when we are trying to change the culture, or change our capabilities. So on that way, we can see that through the Buddhism, I am changing my things, and I am trying to establish the new culture, the Navayana.
Yeah.
So in that way, we are doing, and somehow we are set up an example in the society at present through the Triratna, Buddhist Sangha Odisha, or Ambedkarite movement. So yeah, on that way, we are success, and we are able to establish a model. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sadhu. For those of you who haven't heard of it, Nagaloka is based in Nagpur, which is a large city right at the center of India. And that's where Triratna has a training institute where women and men can go and actually spend several years going deep into the Dharma teachings of Triratna, as taught by Bhante Sangharakshita and Dr. Ambedkar. So that's just a little bit of background for you. But of course, as you can see, as in the case as Maitreya Ratna was saying, it completely brings you into a human realm, educates you and gives you self-respect, so that you can spread that message throughout India. So I'd like to move on now and ask Sudha. Sudha, if you'd like to say a few things for me. What particularly do you value about the Triratna approach to Buddhism? Sudha.
Jabim and Buddha. Thank you, all teams, to allow me to speak something about this. Triratna about. It is a very new way of life in my practice. At that time, I confusing about Buddhism and Ambedkarism. That time, one way give me Triratna to view or thinking about our thoughts and negativity, all things. That time, Triratna, thanks to Triratna, that time many help my mind to create a new idea, new thinking and new process. In Triratna, first time I joined in Nagaloka in 2015, and then I joined with Bodharan Meditation Center. That time I training with all the Dhammachari, Dhammamitra, all friends with practicing meditation and all things. That time I realized what is going on in my mind at time. And one thing I share in this platform, that time I washing the bamboos in 500 bamboos. That time that I realized the Dhamma, what is the Dhamma, that is many kinds of work that is clarity me to what is Dhamma, what is practice that time. And Triratna is most important factor for my life, that is give me a process, thinking mind and emancipatory way, that way give me Triratna. Thank to Triratna, and thank to all my friends, they give me chance.
Dhanyavad, Shukriya. Thank you. Thank you, Siddha. And Doleshwar, would you like to say something too on this subject?
Yeah, thank you, sir. And Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim.
Yeah, see, with regard to changing my personal life, I was associated, I'm associated since 2005 onwards. And I was believing in religion, particularly God and goddesses, and also in buying to some extent. And I was in mind, but when I come to know about Triratna Buddhist Society, and I'm engaged with my friend Ratnakumar, Maitre, and Jadu, and others. I had a discussion during my BA time, actually, UG time, undergraduate time. I had a discussion with them, and gradually I came to know about the Buddhism and non-Buddhism. And I'm from a village from Odisha, Kalahani district, Odisha. So I was not having much information about that. So there are two things actually the Triratna Buddhist Society has impact on me. One thing is for my education, for pursuing my higher education. Triratna Buddhist Society and my friend, particularly the Kalinga Mitra team, helped me, encouraged me to pursue my education, higher education particularly, and emotionally and educationally they support and they guide me. That one thing, and secondly, particularly from my thinking. I was believing in various god and goddesses, and I was worshipping also. But gradually, and when I discussed with them, that thing I left. Now I'm free from that. Okay, I'm not believing anyone now. I mean, now I can believe myself. It's given me, say, in a Hindu culture. Okay, I was part of growing in a Hindu culture and Christian culture. So I was believing in God and karma and other things. But it's because of association of Kalinga Mitra, and when I interact with them, now I believe myself. I'm not fear about any other things, and it's giving a confidence that I can say. And secondly, it's helping me in education. Two things I can say still now. But with regards to my family, I can't say, we had a discussion with my parents, with my friends, and I have also discussion with my parents. Still, they have to change. And still they have to change, and they are interacting with the society. But gradually they are changing also. That I can assure that after long effort, after 8 to 10 years effort and engage with in ideological and different in practice also. Now they are changing, but for me, I can say I have changed, particularly for gender understanding also. I was thinking something different, and that change I can I got from the Triratna, or in the Buddhist perspective I can got. The Kalinga Mitra is one of the reason to to dissolve my biasness towards the gender. That thing I can say, and I'm very much thankful, and I'm very happy with interacting with sharing this thought, and also I'm very much thankful to Kalinga Mitra also for being a part of the organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And Subransu, would you like to say a few words as well?
Yeah, thank you, Saddharaja, and thank you, dear team, for this opportunity. Like all my friends, for me also, I am also belong to that very marginalized community. And Babasai was the only one and the first one who introduced me about my problem and the revolution we are talking about. The revolution we are talking about, the Buddhist revolution or whatever the against the caste patriarchy or the inequalities in our society, in our culture, in our very culture in India. So we understand this as India has no diverse culture. It has a single culture, and that is the culture of caste. And this light only by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. So at the same time, Baba Sahib Ambedkar gave us Buddhism or Buddhist idea. But earlier I was only aware about Baba Sahib, but I had no idea about Buddhism. Or at the same time, I had not at all also any idea about the Buddhist contribution of Baba Sahib towards Buddhism or the Buddha itself or what is the Buddha Dhamma. But the moment I came to know about this, I found a great change in my understanding as well as in my discourse. And that changes is that the revolution we are talking about, whatever the revolution we are talking about, whatever the fighting for inequalities, fighting against the inequalities, or fighting against the caste atrocities, or fighting for any freedom, any type of freedom, whether it is racial discrimination, whether it is gender discrimination, or whether it is caste discrimination, or any form of inhuman beings, any form of dehumanization, the very Hindu society existed in a very Hindu society. Or and when we apply Buddhism in that, Buddhism in that, we found a vanishing form, and we found a form of humanities, in that. Or if we are getting a form of humanity, then obviously we are getting a form of equality. We are from the equality. Equality means us for the equal opportunity, and equal opportunity means us for better performance. Or a performance right opportunity, then we are performing our best. So the idea of revolution of Baba Sahib Ambedkar fulfills when we added with Dhamma. So I believe without Buddha Dhamma, or without Dhamma value, without Buddha practice, the Ambedkar movement unfulfilled one. It can be fulfilled, or it can be run away, or it can be pave away or move forward without Buddhist value, without the Dhamma practices. And this is the biggest learning I have learned from TBM, and I give full credit to TBM or the Triratna for this contribution to understand Buddhism in practical sense, or in very on a very lucid and very crystal way, that how it's changing our own life, as well as it's giving us a strength, giving us a solution to make a platform, to work for a platform for others, to increase our humanity, to increase our compassion, At the same time, I must like to add here, that is about meditation. And this is only I learn from you said, means that Trailokya, that is meditation in Indian form or yoga form. You must be aware about this, how meditation is being practiced in Indian culture or Hindu culture. But what we learn from Buddhist perspective, it gives us a solution. It makes us more feelings. It gives us a feelings, as well as it makes us strength. It gives us strength, and it gives a way to us to perform our sila. We perform better sila by the meditation. So it's for me, when I meditate, it's give me a good for my sila dhamma. So this is the whole changes I made by the. Sorry for taking more time, actually.
That's okay.
Thank
It's
you.
very good to hear how much Triratna Buddhism is really having an effect on your life, Subransu. I'm really glad to hear that, actually. I think that's very moving to listen to. We need to move on now to questions and answers. So I'd like to give the Cambridge Sangha the opportunity to ask Ratnakumar a few questions, and other members of the Odisha team if they would like to. So if somebody would like to ask a question now, you're very welcome. It's worth stating that your voice will be recorded, and even though your picture may come up on the screen, your picture won't be recorded. So that won't be going onto YouTube, just to sort of reassure you on that front, because some people are concerned about that. Okay, who would like to raise a question now to the Odisha team? Questions, anybody?
Yeah. Hi, it's Triratna. I'd like to ask a question. I'm very pleased to be seeing Odisha friends appearing here. There's some very significant Buddhist sites in Odisha. Do you have just a couple of minutes to tell us about the significance of Odisha in Buddhist history and some of the places that some of the sites there?
Ratnakumar?
Sorry, would you please repeat again?
In Odisha, there are many significant Buddhist sites, and it has a very powerful history of Buddhism there. Could you just say about one or two of the places, one or two of the events of Buddhist history in Odisha?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Priyadaka. So, near to Bhubaneswar, where I'm right now staying, so there is a place called Dhauli Santi Stupa, and that is a very historical place where King Asoka, Emperor Asoka, first killed so many people from Kalinga. So Odisha was known as Kalinga at the time. So he fought Kalinga war against these Kalinga people and won this battle. But at the very place, he changed his attitude or mentality to Buddhism. So he accepted the way of Buddha, and from that day onwards, he worked for Buddhism. So he left the shore and took off the teachings of or the Dhamma and made his journey towards all. And he actually spreaded over Asia the message of the Buddha. So that is a significant place in Orissa, and there are few monasteries, or we can say universities like Nalanda. So Ratnagiri is a place that is the major center. That was the major center for Vajrayana, and you can see very different symbols like Vajra and different bodhisattvas like Tara, Manjushri, and other bodhisattvas, Avalokiteshvara and Aparajita. I was shocked when I went to the museum. There were the statues of Aparajita and Lokeswara also. So, and that was very new to me because I was not a Tibetan Buddhist or Mahayani Buddhist, because I knew Buddhism through Triratna. So that is also a place, and we call that Diamond Triangle. So there are three major Buddhist centers. That is Ratnagiri is one place, and Lalitgiri, and another is Dhauligiri. Udayagiri. So and that those were big universities. Yes, and sometimes what we found, that if you dig into the soil of Kalinga, every place you can find a small statues or something about Buddhism. And where one of my friend is living, Dhammasen, is he was here, but I don't know. I think he left. So there was a big institution and monastery that is called Parimalgiri, and Hwensung visited that place. But and every year in Vaisak Purnima, in the full moon day of Vaisakha, they celebrate a big festival, and Nagarjuna, who was very famous in Ayurveda and medicines. So he used to stay there and practice there. So they, and that is recorded in a book that is called Buddhism in Odisha. So there are lots of places like that in Odisha, but there need to be exhibited. Thank you.
Thank you. So we got an opportunity for another question. If somebody would like to ask our team in Odisha another question.
I've got a question, Saddharaja, I'd like to ask.
Yeah.
So first of all, hello. Very, very nice to see you all. My name's Arta Siddhi, but to meet friends, Dharma friends in India is a great pleasure. So thank you very much for coming. And I have two questions that I'd like to ask. I'd like to ask, the first question is, what is the most important Dharma practice for you in your life? What is the most helpful Dharma practice? Is it ethics? Is it meditation? Is it wisdom? Is it generosity? Is it patience? Is it energy? Is it friendship? What is the most important? And the second question is why? Why is that the most important practice for you in your life? Could be faith. Why is that? So what is the most important and why? I'd like to hear from maybe a few people. Maybe we haven't heard from Bikash. It'd be nice to hear from Bikash and maybe Shwana again as well.
Vikash, would you like to answer?
Yeah, thank you very much. According to me, I think friendship, the Maitri is the best thing I got out of Buddhism. And because of that, because of my friendship and with different Buddhist people, I came to know various things about human life, human behavior, the right relationship between men and men. And through that, I got confidence. And actually, this friendship, the concept of Maitri from Buddhism, it brings a drastic change in my life. And another thing I would like to share that through Buddhism, I came to know about change. Nothing is permanent. So here in the country like India, which is based on lot of discrimination, and we people are treated as subhuman. So from this, I got to know that this situation will not be persistent. We can change this through our practice, through our friendship, and through building Sangha. So for me, the theory of friendship, the theory of metta is best thing which I got from Buddhism. Thank you.
Shwana, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Bikash.
Yes. Thank you, Vicky Brown. As I living in India, when from my childhood, I see the gender inequality from my home to my society. And I remember that when I started to go to the outside of my home, my parents to my relatives try to oppose me that I am a woman, but as I know from my studies from since my childhood, and already I was said that when I read Buddha, I appreciate the ideas of Buddha, but I can recognize the way of how to go there the path. But when I come to KMT, and before that I working in a NGO where only I study about the gender discrimination, but I'm not finding the result why this gender discrimination happening in India. But when I coming with KMT, I understand the actual reason of the gender discrimination in India because of the caste, and why caste is running the home after after the all anti-caste reformer I study, I really feel that the way of the life is the Buddhism, where we find out the gender equality. But unfortunately, our family are not understanding about the Buddhism because they don't know about him, who is Buddha. They feel Buddha is also a one god or goddess. So they can't go they can't go with the path of Buddhism. So yes, I see the Buddhism is the one big way of the change of in India for gender equality. So I really feel if we practice in our daily life, if we practice Buddhism in our daily life, we see the path, or we see the result where we create a society where all are living in equality. All are living in a fraternity. But unfortunately, it's taking maybe some time because of we just working on it, and many threats are in India is happening. So yeah, as a women, still here is so many problems. But I feel if you go with the path of Buddhism, we achieve the success, where we will live in equality. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap it up there now, because I am aware that it is 1:30 in the morning in Odisha at the moment. And I think it is a wonderful thing that you've managed to stay up this late. I haven't seen anybody yawning or looking really, really tired. You seem so enthusiastic and willing to share your Dharma lives with us in Cambridge. And we feel very grateful and very privileged that you've been able to do that for us. So thank you for that. Jai Bin to you, Dhanyawad, and Shukriya. We are now going to finish our class with some announcements. So if you like, please leave and go to bed. But thank you for your involvement this evening. It's been wonderful to see you. Thank you.
Saddharaja, and thank you, Cambridge Buddhist Center, for allowing us to interact with you. So thank you.